Foundry VTT's big update to version 10 has been out for about 2 weeks now, and I want to talk about it. I want to help you decide if it's time for you to upgrade from version 9 to version 10, or, just share some of my thoughts and experiences with it. So let's jump straight into it. So starting off, they reskinned a few things with version 10, a lot of like minor little things, made some of the transitions a bit smoother, so when you hide or reveal tokens or turn them, it's not as jumpy, it kind of, it's smoother. The main update for me, I think the best thing that they changed, updated, was the vision. Dark vision is kind of grayscaled is the way rules is written for 5th edition works, and now it reflects that. So if you're seeing in darkness with your dark vision, it's all grayed out, but if there's a torch or light in the area, you'll then see in color for those areas, and so that works out really well. They also added a couple other nice things like tremor sense. If there's someone invisible, you can't see them. But if there's tremor sense, you can see them, assuming that they're on the ground. If they're in the air, again, it doesn't work. So just a lot of good details there, and I just really appreciated all that they did with the vision. The next thing they added was pings. I'm surprised it took them this long to get pings added is a native function in Foundry. The pings I didn't love though. I've been using the pings mod, which I actually like more than what they did with pings, though they added a few nice touches. The pings though, I think are a little bit harder to see, especially if you're zoomed out. It's just very small, and certain colors just don't come up very well. But some of the nice things or nice touches that they added is you can long click to ping, you can alt long click to ping, and it does like a triangle, which is more like a, hey, look at my ping. And if you're somewhere else on the map to where the ping isn't on your screen, they add like a little arrow, like, hey, somebody pinged over there. And so that's cool. Like usual, or with the pings mod, you can shift long click, which will drag everyone to where you're looking, though this will also match what your zoom is. So another cool little feature there. I do have some issues with this. Sometimes my pings just stop working. Sometimes it can be fixed with refreshing the browser if I'm on the browser. Other times I have to restart the server to get the pings to start working again. And so that can be really annoying. Since their update about a week ago, this has gotten a lot better. I've only seen it happen a couple of times, so I don't know if this was something they targeted with the update or if it just, happy coincidence. But this isn't as bad now as when they first released V10, but like I said, I still do see it occasionally. Next thing, we've got journals. So instead of how it was before, now it works more like a book. So when you create a journal entry, it kind of creates a book, and then each of those entries are now like pages in this book, which I did not like at first because all I used the journal for were handouts for my players. And I was like, oh, there's now an extra step. I have to like create a little book for it and then put a page in there and then share that with the players. And it was like, so I just didn't love it. But I didn't use the journals all that often. I would usually use Word documents or PDFs for my story. And I just didn't really put anything in the journals because I just didn't like using them all that much. This has changed that. I now actually use the journals. I really like the update to the journals. And as far as the extra step for the handouts, I just create like a little book journal for all player handouts, and you can show specific pages to your players, or you can share the entire book with them. I don't know what they call it. I just call it like anyway. Yeah, so you can now, for a page, you can have an image, text, or a PDF as that page. So that is actually really useful. I have started using this a lot more once I got used to it and played with them a little more. The next thing, and this is the biggest issue I have with V10, we need to talk about the mods. Most of them work fine. Most of them are updated, they function perfectly normal. Some of them I have issues with, and there are a few that don't work at all. Some of these that I really liked were better rolls for 5e. It doesn't work now. They do have a replacement one, which I think is Ready, Set, Roll 5e, if I remember. I'll put on the screen what it is if that's not it. But I don't like that one as much as Better Rolls for 5e, and at this point I've just gotten pretty used to using MIDI QOL, which has some other functionality, even though it's still not my favorite. Some other things that still aren't working for me are like the GM screen, which I did a video on previously, so I really like that mod. I'm eagerly waiting for that to get added or updated so that it works properly. Now, the Foundry community is great, and I'm sure that it won't be too long before all of these are updated or now compatible with V10, or if any of these big mods or popular mods take too long to get updated, replacements will be in there, much like how there's Ready Set Roll already as a mod in there, and I'm sure that one's gonna get updated and improved. But this brings me to kind of the question that you might ask, should I update? And I would say if you are on version 9 and you're enjoying it, the only big advantage that you get, I think, would be the vision update. But if you're like, you know, I'm happy with version 9, I would not update. Don't do it. Enjoy the stability of where you are at right now, and I would give it at least until October before updating. I'm sure it won't be too long before a lot of the mods are updated and stable with V10, but there's still a pretty decent sized handful of them that I still have some issues with. And like I said, it's a small amount that don't work, but there are still some that don't work. The levels mod, for example, there's a couple issues I've been having with that one where some of the things don't function the exact same. And there's just been some issues playing around with that. If you do decide that you want to update, or when you update, as everyone has been saying, make sure that you back up your world beforehand, and there's a ton of videos out there that you can find on how to do that. That's all I have for this one. Let me know what you think of version 10 if you're already playing on it, and if there's anything that I forgot to mention. Thanks.